Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming with a message. And this must going to be some sort of message. It's going to be the type of message that I'm going to even learn as I teach. I can feel it. I'm going to learn as I teach. The reason why I feel so compelled to cover this chapter and the verses that rest therein is because I saw some strange things going on. There were some real strange things going on. And I want you to come go with me and see if you can, I can't say feel it, but see if you could see these things that is within the chapter. The book is Mark. The chapter is Mark, chapter 10. And let us start with verse 2. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him. Now, you know who the Pharisees are. The Pharisees are the Jews. Many of them that are called the Jews really think that they are some of the head men of Israel. And as you see in verse 2, it says, the Pharisees came to him and asked him. Where was he? He was traveling the coast, several coasts, and teaching as he does. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him. Verse 2, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Do you see the question mark there? They asking him a question. And after that it says, tempting him. So you see, it's a trick question. They are tempting Yeshua by asking him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? As a question unto him. They were tempting him. Right there should open your eyes to some light. Right there. They asked him the question, is it all right? Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Tempting him. This is a trick question. Verse 3, and he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? So now you got a question with the question. You got a question with the question. And verse 3 says, and he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? What did that do? That shot down their form of tempting him. He's actually asking them, what is it you already know based on what Moses told you? So when they thought they were being smart, they were really looking dumb. because he asked the question, what did Moses command thee? Verse 4. And they, so we know that it was more. It was probably several of Pharisees. Okay. And it says here in verse 4, and they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. This is what they tell him that Moses said unto them. Verse 4. They said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. Now let's see what Yeshua's now response is. Verse 5. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, for that reason of the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. He wrote you this precept. Now you see how they would take every word of Moses and apply it to us today. When Moses wrote them a separate precept, because they had that wicked heart. A separate precept because he gave them something for their wicked heart. You see? So he says, Moses, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote this precept. You know how I tell you they be talking about the Hebrew Israelite men? It's precept upon precept, line upon line, little here and a little there. They have no idea what they are detaching themselves to. Look how Yeshua tell them that what Moses told you was because you're wicked. But does that give Moses the right to give them, to write unto them words to encourage them how to get out of situations because they are wicked? So here in verse 5, it says, and Yeshua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. That could be many of precepts. All the precepts that these Hebrew Israelites detached themselves to. Do you all understand that's what they do on the corners? Precept upon precept. Never understanding exactly what is taking place here in verse 5. This precept has nothing at all that detached to Yah. Ain't nothing in this precept righteous. Nothing in this precept. Yah did not say to them to write a bill of divorcement and put her away, giving them all that power and authority. That's why they're like that today. And still yet, blaming the woman. And the women have no idea. They're not blaming you because they know fault is in you. They have to fault you, baby, because too much sugar in them. And they can't, and none of it can make sense to them why they got these feminine mood swings. And this is what women don't understand in Judah. You lost your man long time ago. Starting in Genesis, in the book of Judge, all the way up until today. All because you never paid any attention to how your men have always been loving on each other. And the love for a woman has weakened. I remember 3 years ago, I had a real issue because I was trying to figure out, why are these men grabbing on each other like this nowadays? Why now when they hug, it's got to be strictly body contact? Sugar in them. That's the only way I can put it. Without, it's a lot of sugar in them. Yes, they got wives. They got children. But they got this sugar in them to where they can't see that she is feminine and they are supposed to be masculine. They have turned their masculine in to have that feminine mindset. So what are they doing? They're stealing the female's identity because they found that a way that they could do it and still uphold being a man. And now it's so flamboyant, a lot of them don't care. So many of Judah been in the closet, under the closet, in the hallway closet, under the bed, on top of. And let me tell y'all, so many then went down that road. Oh yeah. And this is why they can't feel females. They can't feel women anymore. And you're thinking it's something you did. They got you thinking it's all you have to do is look back from Genesis all the way up until today and see who been ruling, who been getting away with being a rolling stone, who been getting away with having babies in each state, who have been getting away having women all over the place and just jumping from house to house to house, up the street, down the street, everywhere. Even to the point where they end up entering and messing with a lot of their sons and daughters in their own homes. I'm speaking of men, and I'm speaking of the men of Judah. Right here is showing you. Yeshua said to them, "What did Moses command you?" And they went and they said, "He suffered us to write a bill of divorce and put her away." Yeshua answered and said to them, "For the hardness," that hardness means wicked, stiffness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. That means because of your wickedness, he gave you a separate precept to do away with your wife. So did they not get what they wanted? Yes, they did. Moses gave it to them. You see? That's why I tell y'all, don't come telling me about nobody. Let y'all tell me. Because he's going to tell it like it is. Now, as we go into it, verse 5, Yeshua is telling them that he gave you, he wrote that precept for you because you were wicked. Now watch this. But, Yeshua said, but from the beginning of creation, Yah made male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. Watch this here. So what did Yeshua do? He took them all the way back home and told him how Yah had made male and female. I like that. He didn't take them. See, a lot of y'all ain't getting it. See, what you don't see and you don't understand, you're missing it already because you can't see it. And if you can't see it, it's because it ain't meant for you to see it. This light that Yah is bringing out of darkness in this day and time is only meant for few. Okay? And if you see right here, he went to verse 6. It says, but from the beginning. So where was that beginning? We got to go way back to Genesis 1, like I told y'all. He said if they missed that, they'd have missed it all. So Yeshua took him back to Genesis 1. He took him back all the way to the beginning of creation when he made male and female. But look at what he said. He said in verse 6, from the beginning, so that's way back in Genesis 1, of creation. That's Genesis 1. Yah made them. Yah made them male and female. Them. And you all don't even get it. But let me take you there. Then he went and says what verse 3, chapter 3 of Genesis. He took them to the beginning, which is verse 1. Okay? Verse 1, chapter 1 of Genesis is verse 6. Chapter 1 of Genesis, verse 27, 28, and 29. That's the beginning. He jumped to now Genesis 3. He said in verse 7, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. And the two twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What Yeshua did, he schooled him. He schooled him from when it was supposed to have been them at creation in the beginning, and in chapter 3 of Genesis, where he says that a man should leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. That's found in Genesis chapter 3, and I believe, let me go give it to you. And I'm going to show y'all something, which I would have never caught. I would never have caught it. I would never have caught it. Was that Genesis 3? No, or was that Genesis? Nope. Wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, no. Let me correct that. He schooled him from Genesis 1, where he made them male and female, and he brought him to Genesis 2. So Genesis 1, verse 6 of Mark chapter 10, verse 6 is from Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, 28, 29. Then he also came to Genesis 2, and he told him, he took him to, what verse was that? He took him to verse 20, Genesis chapter 2, verse 23, 24. Wait a minute. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Okay. And verse 25. He schooled them by taking them back. Taking them back to Genesis 1 and 2, which was what? In the beginning. What was he saying? I know Moses told y'all did. Even Moses knew that the beginning of y'all creation, what he gave y'all, or what he told y'all. And I sat there, I said, wait a minute now, Father, now, you know I see it, don't you, Father, y'all? You know I see it. Y'all, I could not believe what I was seeing. I could not believe what I was seeing. So watch this. Verse 7, he said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother and cling to his wife. That came from Genesis 3, not Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 and 25. And verse 8, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more two, but one flesh. I've been speaking to y'all about that one flesh. Verse 9 says, what therefore Yah has joined together, let no man put as under. Now, what has happened right there? He just schooled them, and they have no idea how. Because I've heard men take this here and wear it out. And when they wore it out wrong every time. Today, the Father gave me the revelation of it. And let me tell you something. I wouldn't have never known it had the Ruach not give it to me. What the revelation is, he's telling them in the beginning, the way Moses told you, is wrong. When he created male and female, he gave them equally dominion. Ooh. Oh, Deborah, you can preach that one, can you? I sure can stand on the mountain. I can stand on the mountain now. Teach this. So he sat there and told them in verse 6, Mark chapter 10 and verse 6. From the beginning, come on, take them there, Deborah. Of creation of who? Yah. So he took them all the way to the creation. Not to when Adam and Eve was said that for this reason a man would leave his mother and father and cling to it. No. Yeshua took them all the way home to the beginning. And you mean to tell me they can go to the beginning and still today be lost today as they were then when Yeshua was telling them, as they were in Genesis 1. So what is he saying, Deborah? Tell them, what is he saying? Something that I've been teaching y'all, and I'm getting burnt out. Okay? Because I'm ready for the crew that Yah is going to bring in. That's going to be able to say, I know all about it. It's did. They're going to have that answer to it. Now watch this. Verse 6. Mark chapter 10 and verse 6. The revelation is this. He took them all the way back to the beginning to show them that I know Moses gave you this because this here he gave you was for your wicked heart. But from the beginning, I don't care how wicked your heart is. Y'all set up a standard. And I love it because I had no idea. And what he's saying is in the revelation of it is right there in Mark chapter 10, verse 6. He said, but from the beginning of creation, Yah made them male and female. Now we got to go back. Let me show you what he did. From the beginning of creation, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27. And Yah created man in his own image, and in the image of Yah created he him, male and female created them. Verse 28. And Yah blessed who? Them. Yah said unto them, but be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. Who? Male and female. Watch this here. We in 28. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Who? Male and female. And have dominion over the fish of the sea. Who is he saying? Male and female. And over the fowls of the earth. Male and female. And over the living things that moved upon the earth. Who? Male and female. Verse 29. And Yah said, behold, I have given thee every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth. Who did he give it to? Them, not him. So what is Yeshua saying here? What is his revelation? His revelation is this: that from the beginning, heavens wanted it to be male and female. And when you go into a marriage where you take on a woman and the woman take on a you, there's no such thing as he and her. It's one flesh. The mystery and the revelation of the mystery is found right here in verse 6 of Mark chapter 10 and verse 6. That he made a male and a female to only come together in unity as a marriage, as one flesh. Hold on. So what is he telling them? Men, why is Moses giving you the power to give? Hear me now, y'all. I'm gonna mess you up. Why is Moses giving you the power to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away as if you all are two? You see what he's telling them? He didn't create it like that. He created them to work together. And when they come together into the marriage, now there's no more two, it's one. How do you divide a two? I mean, how would you divide this marker? If both pieces, this here and this here, are now become one marker, how would you divide this marker? Oh, so he's the man. He can give this one here a written divorce and send her away. No, you can't. You are one marker, not two. That is so. You're not two. One, two. He said you become one flesh. So now you're whole. So when he gives you the authority to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away, that can't be done. Why? Let's continue. In verse 10. And in the house, his disciple asked him again of the same manner. And he said unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another has committed adultery against her. And if a woman put her husband away and be married to another, she commit adultery. So what is happening? He's saying each one of them now is one. She can't put him away. He can't put her away. The men came to Yeshua and they told him the way Moses commanded them to be able to do, as if there are two and I can just put her away. Yah is saying, when you come together for anything, you got to come together as one. So if the man would say, Moses would have told him, when bring your wife and you as one. You see what I'm saying? As a oneness. And the issues that y'all have, accept it as a oneness, because she can't have issues over here and you have issues over here, because y'all know two, y'all one. So how is it the men are getting a written divorce? They writing out, y'all, a written divorce and sending her away as if they're not one flesh. This is what he's telling them from the beginning, where y'all took her identity and stole it from her. Everything on the earth should have been split as male and female, working together as one. That's what he's schooling them. It ain't no such thing as you write her off and she has to go away. No. How are you going to send somebody away when you're not two anymore? You're one. So if you won, how do you get out of that? How do you get out of that? Here in Mark chapter 10 and verse 9, what therefore Yah has joined together. I like that. What Yah has joined together, let no man as put as under. That means anybody that's a unity in Yah, there's no separation. There's no written decree. Yah don't want you to, he give a divorce or you get a divorce. You see, only one can divide you is Yah. That's why he said, look at verse 9, let no man as under. Because what they do is they go to the courthouse and they get a divorce. A lot of times the man ain't wanting a divorce and he don't know, he gets be surprised. A lot of times women get a divorce and she be surprised. But you won. There should be no surprises. Both of you should go to the court and settle that thing. And he said, if this woman go and divorce her husband and married another, that's adultery. If this man go and divorce his wife and married another one, that's the adultery. But when you both go in as one to try to solve the issue, and if the issue is that y'all are two flesh that has joined into one flesh, and Yah is not the one that has joined you, you're not bound to one another. So therefore, he still wants you to understand it's not him letting her go or her letting him go. Because when you do it that way, it's called adultery. You're one flesh. So how can you let your one flesh, y'all become one? You're not two anymore. You see? So this is what he's saying right here in verse 6, that in the creation, he made male and female, same way he made them to work together on the earth side by side, on the earth, developing the earth, creating the earth, over the sea, over the fowls. He made male and female. But look how man took her out of the equation and made it about him. So this is exactly what Moses told them, that they can do the same thing. When you're done with her, give her a written decree and send her away. And he's saying, wait a minute, hold up. From the beginning, he wanted only male and female. Do you know what that means? That means everything on earth should have been be that which male and female works together. Let's say it's a type of job too straining for a woman. That's okay. They have jobs that men don't do for women. I mean, that women only do. You see what I'm saying? And men don't. He's not saying that. He's just letting you know, to rule this earth, woman has the equal authority as man. Man has the equal authority as woman. And then he came into Genesis 2. That same oneness, he brought both authorities, the male and female authorities, back to a oneness. Where is that oneness at, Deborah? Right there in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 and 28. Letting you know, the fowls of the air, man, you have dominion, but woman do too. The fishes in the sea, man, you have dominion, but woman do too. Equally. So this thing about a man leave his mother and father and cling to his wife, he's still trying to get us to understand. Why is it this man leave his mother and wife, his mother and father? See, he gave them two, but they were one. So he's showing you how you come out, a man will come out of a oneness, that a mother and father, that's two, that is one. He gonna come out of there, and he too cleave to a woman, and they become one. Why? Because he wanted the earth to be a oneness, as he created them to be a oneness, to work this earth together. Woman never got that opportunity. Never got it. Even Moses. See, those men that I always said that too. David, Moses, the only one was excellent in that was Abraham. I can see that's real good. The rest of them, no, they did not have that order. They took on the order that Yah had given them, and they ran with what Yah had called them to do. And they ran and they ran and they ran. They never did turn back around to check on woman. Never did. That's how so much was going on with David's family, his children. So much was going on. That's how one son having sex, raping the other one, their daughter. It was so much going on. And his wives, oh man, go back and read what they did. They end up going to other people, other men. You see? When the order of man and woman coming into a oneness to rule this earth is out of order, anything goes. Anything goes. But who took it out of order? Satan found the weaker link from the male and female. And that was men. That was men. That's why you see more men homosexual, wanting to be women. because they have taken woman's identity from the beginning. Her whole purpose they had taken long time ago and put her under their feet. So right here, this is what he bringing him back to. He's saying, wait a minute, hold up. But from the beginning, he created male and female. He created them. So why are you approaching this situation? Why are you standing here asking me, can you give her a written decree? Why are you tempting me that way? When from the beginning, I already know what he said and how he created at the beginning. It wasn't you can approach me. You and her supposed to approach me because you are just, you're a half. You half. You're a piece of half. You better bring me the whole. I don't care what Moses say. You coming in and dressing me? Tell you what, bring the whole. What's the whole? Male and female. And that's what he's telling him. This is why he's schooling him on Genesis 1, first and foremost, and then smooth him over in Genesis 2. But in Genesis 1, knock the ball out of the park because it's telling him what I've been trying to teach you. That from the beginning, he never intended for them to be all about a man. Moses told them, just give her a written decree of divorcement and send her away. How are you going to send her away when you are no longer two? You're one. That's where Yeshua was bringing revelation to. So when they read that, they have no idea. The revelation of that is he's revealing to them that no situation should come before anything until you understand that when it is said, when you come together, when you're a man and a woman coming together, you are now them becoming one, not him. And see, they was approaching him, tempting him, but he outsmart them by a long shot because that what he said has messed up everybody everywhere on the earth because it brought the full revelation of what he was saying. You telling me what Moses told y'all men to do. How could that be? When nobody, if you are married, it's no longer you. It's no longer male. It's no longer you. It's we. One. Them. That's what he was schooling them on. And that stands for even today. His whole purpose was always to bring male and female into them to rule the earth. If you got work that's too heavy for woman, man do. If you got work too light for man, woman do. He didn't say this go here, this go here, you can go here, you can go. He just said when you do it as one, as them. But don't put her under your feet and stop her from voting and from her from spending money and her from doing what she can do. And you being the head, you rule everything she can do from 1 to 10, from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. No, he didn't tell you to rule over her. I know the Roman Catholic put that in there nice and smooth to take her identity. And you know what I realized? They did take her identity to the utmost. They took her identity so much. He says it's going to be like the days of Noah. The men wanting to have me. It wasn't the women. It was men and boys wanting to have each other. So what's going to be like that? The end. You see, it's showing you that they stole the women's whole identity as feminine and as purpose from the kingdom. That's deep. So if you look at it, you could see it. That's what he was saying to them. They ain't nobody. Pharisees ain't nobody. So what is he saying? He's not saying it to them. He's saying it to somebody like me that got the light. And that light shine is so, I was like, oh no, you didn't go there. I love it because even me, when I'm teaching it, I can break it down to show them that, hey, there's a revelation in here. It's showing you right here. He's letting you know that heavens never intend for it to be about men, males. It was always intended to be about male and female on this earth based on one thing. And that's the way heavens orchestrated it. So how did it get out of order? It's what you see today. How did it get out of order? It's what you're going to see in the end. The days of Solomon and Gomorrah. Oh, yes, it's in there. It's going to be like the days of Solomon and Gomorrah. Because men then in Solomon and Gomorrah, as well as in the book of Judges, you all don't get what it is when these men want to have men. They want to take the place of a female. 99.9 in that act of them, one is playing one role and the other is playing another. Now, in this day and time, to them, they will play the role as man and don't care. But when it all said and done, if they have their little thing and have their little relationship, it's going to be one weaker and one stronger. Why? They playing the role of feminine and masculine. You see, they've been doing it way back in Genesis. This is where I've been trying to say to you all, they took that identity a long time ago. They sold that out alone. They took a woman's identity way back in Genesis 3. They stole a feminine identity way back in Genesis 3. And they took it full force into Solomon and Gomorrah. They did the acts of wanting to be feminine toward men. And they wanted to be accepted as feminine, as act of what a woman would do. They wanted it for another man. They wanted it for themselves. Why? Because they had stole your identity. What was so bad about them doing it? It's because they stole the creative position that Yah positioned and created for a feminine woman, not a feminine man. That's why you find it in every place of worship, from Catholic, from Jewish, from churches, from Christian, all up in the place of worship, because they're showing the whole world it's in the place of worship. So if it's in the place of worship, it's all over. And no one would ever grip the fact that in here in Mark chapter 10, and them tempting him brought full revelation to anybody who wants to see what Yeshua actually was explaining to them. How is it Moses going to give you a divorce, tell you to get a divorcement decree, and send her away? How you going to send her away and you married? It's not no her and him. It is them as one flesh. He's saying that it locks you into one flesh. Now, what you do, you take that one and you go in to the law and you see how you can separate that oneness. But he said, but if you are a oneness that Yah has joined together, and Yah is not in the business of joining dark and light together, telling them here, go get married. No. Yah has never been in the business doing that. That's why I he okayed Sarah and Abraham, Rebecca, and what's his name? Isaiah and Jacob came with the 12 tribes out of all different women, and they a hot mess. So you never figured out why Jacob so off the chain. You don't see, that's why I was telling y'all, you really don't, you have to see this thing more so out of the realm of how the spirit had created things for one way, but when you see it a different way, know it's out of the way of the righteous place. It's in the unrighteous place. Because people would say, well, it's all good, it's okay. Because people have been living it for thousands of years and it don't seem to be bothering nobody. But look at what the place is. Look at how the 12 tribes are divided. The 10 is not in captivity, y'all. And why would Judah and Benjamin be trying to connect with the 10? Why is Judah on the corners hooping and hollering about the 12? Why is he doing that? Because Judah gone. He shouldn't be bothering the 12 at all. He should be focusing on Judah, but he can't because he's gone. He don't understand that when Ephraim, which is the other 10, which is Joseph, but he's going to bring the other 10. And I think, well, who are they? They're the north. I think they're the south. And Judah and Benjamin are the north. They will split up. Yah bring both sticks back together. So while you see them Hebrew Israelite men out there on them corners and have clowned for the last 8 or 9 years, I'm going to tell you something. You don't see them all out there no more. And now that they out there, they just as loony as they were from the beginning. They still don't have spirit and truth. They still don't have the light. They have the words of another man that have breeded their minds to believe what they believe. And they don't even have the word of God living in them, teaching them. You see, so this is the same ones, the Pharisees, men, telling him, tempting him. And he's like, wait a minute, I don't care what Moses told y'all, I don't care what nothing. In the beginning, you couldn't step into Yah's creation, said me, which is he, which is male. No, from the beginning of creation, Yah created male and female. That's what he stepped into him at. He didn't even need to go there. He could have stuck with and a man and a woman come together, leave his mother and father, and come to, and cling to his wife, and they should become one flesh. He could have stayed there, but he didn't. He started off with the creation, because in the creation is the same oneness that is in a man leaves his mother and father and cleave to his wife. That's that same oneness that was in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, 28. He's always stuck with that oneness. So he's like, well, what are y'all coming up and pulling up talking about a written divorcement decree to and put her away? How can you put her away when y'all won? Make it make sense. That's what he's saying. You won. From the beginning, he nailed it to be that way. I know y'all stole her identity and y'all got away with saying she ate the apple in the garden and all this and that, just so they can do what? Steal her feminine identity. And today they got her feminine identity mastered. What do you mean? You see all these men cross-dressing? You see they makeup? They look just like a woman. They mastered that feminine image of Yah that he gave to the female. They mastered it today. They have mastered it. They became the female because they had stolen it from her from Genesis. And now they became her all the way up until today. They steal her. They was acting as her in Solomon and Gomorrah. They was acting as her in the city of Benjamin, in Judge. They were, it tells you in the days of Lot, it's going to be like the days of Lot, the end. What do you mean? Only thing you got to see is men wanting men. That's what people don't understand. They don't want to tell you. They don't want you to know. Even when he said it's going to be like the days of Noah, they don't want you to know that the men were selling their daughter. It's not sex trafficking out here. See, it's a lot of things that we are in full denial, and it's okay. Because you know what happens? People are going to find out really who they are sooner than later. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of that. But when I read that, I said, hold up, Father. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. We supposed to went to, oh no, we did go to 12. So that right there is an awesome revelation that he took them back to where I've been taking y'all for the last year and a half. That in Genesis, her feminine identity was stolen, was robbed. And how they did it, they made it made her be the one that ushered sin by taking a darn apple. And it wasn't even an apple to eat. But if we would have stuck with the apple, it would be an apple today. That's how out of mind people are. They'll still call it an apple and fruit. Even though now we know that it was neither nor. But they won't take it there. They'll continue to keep it right where it's at. But that's why men has taken our identity and they now have mastered it. They have mastered it. You can't tell them from a male or female. They have mastered it. So Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of that message, because I believe that was a wonderful message. And it was one that, I wish there was more to it, but I believe if you think about if it was way back in Genesis chapter 1, what more do you want today? They lost with the cause and without already. So what more do you want, Deborah? You can't do nothing with it. They lost it a long time ago. Shalom and shalom.